Hey guys, BJ with Very Basic Bible. Yeah, let's get into it. Ruth chapter 2, study along. Okay, share my screen here. Yeah, the narrow path. That's potentially the greatest teaching tool, teaching person, teaching Steve Gregg. Okay, dude's name is Steve Gregg, teaches wonderful Bible. You're obviously not going to agree with all his theology and all his interpretations. I agree with like 90% of it, but he does a great job at teaching the Bible. What are some other? We got Bible Bro Down, Soteriology, Provision, Remnant Radio is really good. Press and Sprinkle, Mike Winger. Oh, for specifically for Bible, Father Stephen D. Young, right here. He is an Eastern Orthodox. I am not Eastern Orthodox, but he teaches great Bible. If you want to learn great biblical exegesis, how to really dissect the scripture, lots of history and culture behind it from an Eastern Orthodox perspective. But hey, you learn the Bible really well. Oh, hey, there's more Steve Gregg for you since it's there. Yeah, Steve Gregg videos. Dude's amazing. Look at that. Colonel Sanders. He got nice hair back there. Got a long hair. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's start. Bible. Parallel Bible. Ruth chapter 2. Something I realized we haven't done yet. I was listening to been listening to Eastern Orthodox Bible teaching. Like I said, I'm not Eastern Orthodox, but hey, I need to learn about it. And they have some great Bible teaching. I found out just straight through. You kind of listen and you go, okay, so that's a so what they said there is distinctive of Eastern Orthodox. I'm not so sure of. Oh, what they said there, okay, I can take that. Oh, right there said there is just regular Bible teaching. So you kind of, like any Bible teacher, Steve Gregg, I don't agree with everything he says. I go to a Methodist church. I don't agree with half the stuff the Methodist church says. So, I mean, you just get good Bible teaching where you can. I listened to a great Bible teaching on Ruth chapter 2 last night. It wasn't necessarily in preparation for this study. I just kind of opened the book here and I just find stuff. Now, Naomi had a relative. Let's look up the word relative, um, I just kind of do it randomly, but he said some great stuff that I was like, dude, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. One thing he said, whose name was Boaz. And then he said, now we know that Boaz is, and I thought, wait, I never even looked up Boaz. And at first I doubted what he said. And then I was like, wait, but he's right. Oh my goodness. Why not? All right. Boaz. Let's hit this thing. Okay. Right there. Bible Gate. Let's hit that old blue letter Bible just to give it a little change of pace from Bible Gateway. Got to change from the KJV to the NASB. We have to. That's just what I like. Okay, we're going to look up Boaz. We're going to see if it actually talks about him in any other place other than Ruth. It should have been obvious to me. I feel so silly. All right. Now, Naomi had a relative of her husband, a man of great wealth of the family of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. Okay, Ruth chapter 2, verse 1, 2, verse 3, 2, verse 4, 2, verse 5, 8. Ruth. That's what RTH, Ruth, or UTH, or yeah. Ruth. 1 Kings 7:21. He set up pillars at the porch of the main room. He set up the right pillar and named it Jachin. In Hebrew, you kind of eat that. And he set up the left pillar and named it Boaz. Is that the same Boaz? I don't know. Jachin, or Jachin. I'm just going to say Jachin. Jachin means he shall establish. Boaz, in it is strength. Okay. This is the pillars of the temple. Let's go look real quick. This is verse. Instead of verse. I don't really like it that way. That makes it seem like the Bible isn't telling us a story, isn't recording history, and more like it's here's a verse, there's a verse, and there's a verse. I mean, that's what I have over here, I guess. You know, um, there's a way. Well, why is it on mobile? Wow. Oh no, I kind of like it better on mobile there because you don't have all this stuff in a way. All right. Format. Man, it's all fuzzy. It's gonna be really fuzzy in the red letter. Oh, paragraph. Ah, there we go. All right. Where was it? Control F. Oh, yeah. So we go up here. Hiram's work in the temple. Now King Solomon sent word and had Hiram brought from Tyre. Tyre is way north of Israel. He was a widow's son from the tribe of Naphtali. Well, now maybe Naphtali is way in the north. Tyre is not in Israel. Maybe Solomon had taken over that portion. He did take over a large portion. I want to look it up. Let's see. Images. Okay. We'll be real quick about this because this has nothing to do with Ruth. Naphtali. Tyre. Let's see what we come up with. There we go. There we go. Let's click on this one. I bet you can't see that. I can barely see it. Oh, Tyre is in, according to this map, some of these maps, can't always trust them. But according to this one right here, Simeon, Judah, you probably can't see it that well on the video. Sorry. Manasseh is that huge one. That Asher, right there. You can't really see it, but it says Tyre. Okay, so he's from Naphtali. So he's an Israelite, and I guess he moved to Tyre. Well, is he an Israelite? He's a widow's son. They were supposed to welcome the foreigners. Oh, hey, look at this. 1 Kings 7:14. He was a widow's son of the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, a worker in brass, and he was filled with wisdom. Okay. That would make sense then. Okay. So maybe we can look at that in a Bible study along. But for now, we're in a Bible book study along for Ruth. So he was a widow's son from, okay, all that. He fashioned 2 bronze pillars. He was filled with wisdom and skill. So they're building the porch of the house of the Lord. Same workmanship. Solomon's palace. I thought it was a temple. 1 Kings 7. Now Solomon built his own house over the course of 13 years, and he finished all of his 13 years. People are like, hey, I'm going to build a house. When's it going to be? Oh, sometime next year. This, a few months from now. 13 years. Sheesh. Man, he built it from timbers of Lebanon. He made a hall of pillars in a house. The heck, No, I just want one giant room with a refrigerator in the corner and a toilet over there, and I can put a curtain around the toilet. I don't know. I don't need anything. A hall of pillars from floor to floor. I want one floor in my house. Right now, we got one giant room separated by a bar that's got a kitchen. And then we got a restroom. Then we go upstairs, 2 bedrooms and another restroom. That's too much for me. I don't like this place. It's too much for me. Anyway, foundation was Hiram's work in the temple. So he's still working on his house, I think. All these made of valuable stones. And he came to school and performed all his work. He fashioned a 2 bronze. So we could look at, wait. The sea of cast metal, 10 cubits. Under it, brim of gourd, enticing the rest. It was standing on 12 oxen. That is in the temple and not his house. So up here, Solomon's palace. Why doesn't it tell us he started working on the temple? This, in his house where he was to live, the other courtyard, made a house like this for Pharaoh's daughter, who Solomon married. His own wife gets his own house. Man. With valuable stone, the courtyard. All these. I'm looking. I'm like reading it real quick. Okay. So I guess it just switches to the temple, and we're just not told. Okay, now they're working on the temple. But yes, the pillars. They named the pillars Boaz and Jacob. If you look in the Old Testament, if we were to look at pillars, it says the earth is set on pillars. It says wisdom has 7 pillars. Pillars are meant its strength and its foundation, like it's holding it up. So these pillars seem these two at least. And my camera rocking. Whoa, I'm in an earthquake. Or I bumped my unsturdy desk. So one of these pillars, which is symbolic for foundation, okay? Bible Gateway. I'm a blue letter about Bible Gateway. Okay, pillars. Well, he got up early and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Bring out Samson and entertain us. Oh, they put Samson among the pillars. Samson said to the servant, put me where I can feel the support of the pillars that support the temple, so I may lean against them. What does Samson do? He pushes them. The whole place comes falling down. So pillars are support. Samson reached toward the 2 central pillars on which the temple stood, bracing himself against them, his right hand and the other. He pushes them. The whole temple falls. He kills himself and a bunch of people. Made a colonnade. Cast 2 bronze pillars, each one. Okay, let's look a little further. He shakes the earth from its place and makes its pillars tremble. So he shakes the earth from its place and makes the earth pillars tremble. So they thought the earth was set on pillars. In context, he moves mountains without their knowing it and overturns them in his anger. That's God, obviously. Oh, we're in the NIV. That's okay. He shakes the earth from its place and makes its pillars tremble. He speaks to the sun and it does not shine. He seals off the light of the stars. Okay. So the sun the earth has pillars. What's that mean? The pillars of the heaven quake, aghast at God's rebuke. When the earth and all its people quake, it is I who hold its pillars firm. I bet that's God. See Psalm 7. We praise you, God. We praise you, for your name is near. People tell of your wonderful deeds. You say, so what does God say? God says, I choose the appointed time. It is I who judge with equity. When the earth and all its peoples quake, it is I who hold its pillars firm. Footnote B. The Hebrew. Oh, okay. To the arrogant, I, God, say, boast no more. And to the wicked, do not lift up your horns, which means strength. Horns. Yeah, the wicked, don't be lifting up. Don't be strong. Do not lift up your horn against heaven, and do not speak so defiantly. God holds the pillars of the earth. When the earth is quaking and shaking, oops. To our sons in their youth will be like well-nurtured plants. Our daughters will be like pillars carved to adorn a palace. They'll be strong. They'll be firm. These pillars over here. So the work of the pillars are finished. The pillars was the lily design. So anyway, one of these pillars, Control F, was called Boaz, which means in it is strength. And one Jachin he shall establish. The pillars are for support, and they're to look nice, I guess. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. 7 is very symbolic number. In other words, the perfect amount of pillars, right? So let's go back here. The name Boaz means pillars, or it doesn't mean pillars. In it is strength. It means in it is strength. Okay, is this pillar for the temple named Boaz for this guy, or is it named Boaz because Boaz means in it is strength. You know. Remember over here, he set up the left pillar, named it Boaz, is a pillar of Solomon's temple. Yeah. Why is it named Boaz? It didn't tell us which one, really. We maybe could look up and search, but I'm more interested in something else. Boaz. Loading, Ruth 2, Ruth, okay. Ruth 4:8, Ruth 4:9, 4:13, 2 Kings, Salma fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed, and Obed fathered Jesse. There's Boaz, Obed, and Jesse. All right. We look over here. Obed, Jesse. Change this to the NASB just to keep it the same across, okay? Ruth 4:17. And the neighbor women gave him a name, saying, a son has been born to Naomi. I guess they gave the son a name. So they named him Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. So Boaz, here's chapter 13. I just looked really quick. I just looked and found it with my eyes. So Boaz took Ruth. She became his wife. Boaz took Ruth. Ruth became Boaz's wife. He had relations with her, of course. And the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. Then the women said to Naomi, blessed is the Lord, who has not left you without a redeemer today. May his name become famous in Israel. May he also be to you one who restores things, all that stuff. And then Naomi took the child and laid him on it and became his nurse. And Naomi was saying, now these are the generations of Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. Jesse fathered David. All right. Watch this. Second Chronicles, Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. Okay. Matthew chapter 1. Full chapter. The record of the genealogy of Jesus the Messiah, the son of David, son of Abraham. Abraham fathered Isaac. Isaac fathered Jacob. Jacob fathered Judah and his brothers. Judah fathered Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. One second, guys. Ruth 4. Some of you were like, oh yeah, I saw it. Then Naomi, okay. Now these are the generations of Perez. So a son has been born to Naomi. They named him Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. The son's name is Obed. So what does that have to do with Perez? Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon Salmon. Salmon Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. Jesse fathered David. Why do they start with Perez? I don't know. But maybe we can find out. But if you look over here, Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered, oh, hey. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The main tribe from Jacob is Judah. The main one. Okay. Judah and his brothers. So Abraham is important. Isaac, Jacob, Judah, and his brothers. Judah fathered Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. So we're seeing the family line. So Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah, and his brothers. We don't follow the line of Judah's brothers. We follow the line of Judah. Judah and his brothers. Judah fathered Perez and Zerah. Who do we follow? Not Zerah, Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. We'll go back to Ruth. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon Salmon. Salmon Boaz. Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. Over here. 1 second, guys. Over here we got Ram fathered Aminadab, Aminadab fathered Nation, Nation fathered Salmon, Salmon fathered Boaz by Rahab. Salmon fathered Boaz by so Rahab was Salmon's wife. Boaz is the son of Salmon. No, that's sorry. Boaz is the son of Salmon and Rahab. Why do I think that matters? Who is Rahab? I'm going to look up Salmon, just to be fair. Oh, Ruth 4:20. And Aminadab fathered Nation, Nation fathered Salmon, 4:20, Salmon fathered Boaz. Okay. Then Matthew 1:4, Matthew 3, with an E right there. We sailed under the shelter of Crete off Salmoni. Psalm 1. No. Okay. That's the only time Salmon appears. There's huge, long, in First Chronicles, 9 chapters of genealogies. No Salmon. It's like you would think it'd be there. Because the line, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Judah. Abraham had 2 sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac had twins, Jacob and Esau. Jacob had 12 sons. One of them was Judah. Judah had 2 sons, as we saw, Perez and Zerah. So the line goes through a single person. Whatever this line goes, David the king, Jeconiah and his brothers, not through the brothers, but Jeconiah to Shealtiel, and you go down here, Jacob fathered Joseph, the husband of Mary, by whom Jesus was born, who is called the Messiah. Now, in the days of Ruth, did anybody reading this say Boaz is going to be the long descendant of Jesus? Oh, no. In the days of Ruth, no. In the days of Ruth, they didn't even have this writing. Nobody. When did they write this? Who knows? Maybe somebody wrote it right then. Maybe people were taking notes. Maybe it's probably told through stories and eventually written down. You know, that's usually what happens. There's some place in the Bible where they write stuff right away. We're not told that this is one of them. So we can assume a lot of things, but we know that until Jesus was born, and until people started going, wait, his genealogy goes back through, what I say, wait. Some people are like, wait, so Jesus' genealogy, okay, I know Mary and Joseph. Joseph is related to like all these people up there, to Jeconiah. Joseph is he's a descendant of David. Oh, and of Abraham, which means he would do people think this way? Actually, a lot of Jews seem to. They were big time into genealogies. Why do you think we have a genealogy here? Why do you think we have the genealogy? Where was it? Ram fathered Aminadab. And Ruth. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. They got a genealogy at the end of Ruth. They got 9 chapters of genealogy in Chronicles. Tons of them all over the Bible. First 10 chapters of Genesis, you got 3 genealogies, I believe. I mean, they like genealogies. Maybe too much. I don't know. Where was I going with this? So they might have thought, the people being like, hey, so Jesus, this Jesus character is Joseph's son. Joseph was related to David and Abraham. So the line would have gone through Boaz and through Ruth and through Obed and Jesse. Okay. Yeah, people would have thought about that, but in Ruth's time, nah. Some people looked forward to, through Abraham, your descendants will be blessed. God told Abraham that. God told Isaac that. God told Jacob this. God told Jacob, hey, look, I am going to bless your descendants. So who does the line go through? Judah. The line goes through Judah's brothers also, but where do we follow the line? Judah. Judah fathered Perez and Zerah by Perez. So where does the blessing go through? The blessing goes to everybody, all of Judah's 12 sons, but there's something special. Jacob fathered Judah and his brothers. He had 12 brothers. So Abraham, I'm going to make you into a multitude of nations. Abraham fathered Isaac. Isaac fathered Jacob with 12 brothers. How are you going to get a multitude of nations? Have 12 brothers. Have all them guys have kids. They go off and start their own nations, their own places. But there must be something special about Judah fathered Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. And we're already told that all the way back in Ruth, because we're already given the genealogy. Aminadab fathered Nation, Nation fathered Salmon. We're already, Perez, right? Read full chapter. We're already told way back here. Now remember, like I say, until the book of Matthew was written and dispersed, people couldn't take the book of Ruth, the scroll, let's say, and the scroll of Matthew. People couldn't take those and go, wait, it's the same one. But people did, like I said, orally tell their kids all this stuff. God told the Israelites, teach these things to your kid, write it on their forehead, in their arms, put it on your doorpost, tell it to them as you walk down the way, as you're working in the field. God's like, hey, be telling your kids this important stuff. Would this have been something important? Maybe. They definitely told their kids the law. They probably would have told them their genealogy because it seemed like they really cared. They would have had all this in mind. They'd have been like, okay, so Ruth, Obed, Jesse, and David, King David. Whoa. They didn't know King David in Ruth's time, obviously, but King David became a huge deal. Ruth was like the great-great-grandmother of David, great-great-great-grandmother of David. So all this to say, you can see a theme going through the Bible. But as far as Ruth goes, let's see. As far as Ruth, what is Ruth thinking when she meets Boaz? Who is Boaz? Like we said, Boaz was fathered by Salmon and Rahab. We looked up Salmon a minute ago. Let's look up Rahab. Oops. Okay, even though I got the little squiggle, the little slant. Rahab shelters spies. Joshua 2:1. Okay, full chapter. I'm going to read this kind of quickly. Then Joshua the son of Nun sent. I'm sorry if I go too fast. Then Joshua the son of Nun sent 2 men as spies secretly from Shittim, saying, go, view the land, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute whose name was Rahab and rested there. But it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, the men from the sons of Israel have come here tonight to spy out the land. The king of Jericho sent word to Rahab, saying, bring out the men whom you have come to you, who you have sheltered in your house, for they have come to spy out the land. But the women had taken the 2 men and hidden them. And she said, yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they came from. It came about when it was time to shut the gate at dark that the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, for you will overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof. What's it say? But the woman had taken them in and hidden them. Okay. But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them in the stalks of flax, which she laid on the roof. So the men pursued them on the road to the crossing place. So Joshua here, in the beginning of Joshua, they've been wandering around in the desert. You got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. You got a bunch of sons of Jacob, and eventually they form the nation of Israel. They go to Egypt. They're in the Exodus. God eventually raises up Moses. Moses is like, let my people go. The 10 plagues, the Red Sea, wandering through the desert, all this stuff you learn in Sunday school. Moses dies. Okay. So this is like hundreds of years after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Moses dies. They're going to go into the promised land, and Joshua is in charge. Moses said, hey, Joshua, you're going to take him into the promised land. So Joshua said, hey, I'm going to send 2 spies, go view the land, especially Jericho. Jericho, a giant city, giant dangerous city, probably a military outpost. It does say, and the king of Jericho, so they're a big enough city to have a king. A lot of cities had kings in them. So the king of that city, and it'd probably be that city and the surrounding region. The people who would come to Jericho to do trade would come to Jericho to sell stuff. If there was a famine, they'd come to Jericho to get food. If there's a war, they come to Jericho and like, oh, we better get in there and be protected. Jericho was like, so that's where the king was at for that land. The country of Canaan, tons of kings in it. You think one king per country? Not this way in this time in history. 1 second, guys. 38 minutes. Okay, I've been speaking about 30 minutes. But Rahab, so Joshua sends them in to spy out the land. So they go to foreign territory. They're going to Canaan. Remember, Israel is its own nation, and they've been wandering through the desert. They don't have a land yet. They're in Egypt. Egypt is not Israel's land. Moses leads the people of Israel out of Egypt. They wander around in the desert. The desert is not their land. In fact, several people attack Israel, attack the nation that's just wandering around because, hey, you're near our land. Hey, you're on our land. So they attack them. Israel always defeats them because, well, God. They get beat by other stupid reasons because they commit dumb sins. But don't we all do that? God's like, hey, I'm on your side. I will fight your battles. And we're like, but I'm going to commit a sin. And it's like, oh, man. How dumb can we be? So Israel's just wandering around. Now Israel's on like this at this riverbank called the River Jordan. They're going to go over and enter the land of Canaan. Moses dies, gives Joshua the command. Joshua is now in charge. Joshua says, let's go. Nope. We're not going to go and take the land of Canaan yet. God's first. Let's send 2 people to spy it out. So they go into the foreign land, into Jericho. Rahab, a prostitute and a foreigner, she's living in the land they're fixing to take. She might be living in the land of people that have attacked them. Some people from that place might have come and attacked Israel while they're, excuse me, had a burp, while they're roaming around in the desert. We're told people like, there's Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and get this name, Og, O-G, Og. That's the OG, Og, king of Bashan. Those 2 people at least attacked Israel while they were roaming around the desert. There are the Amalekites who attacked Israel while they were roaming around in the desert. Various other people from Canaan might have come to help the Amalekites, the Og, king of Bashan, Sihon, king of the Amorites. Rahab is with the enemy. Rahab, a possible enemy. Rahab is at least with foreigners who are not Israelites. Rahab is in the land that's fixing to be taken. Boaz, his dad is Salmon, a Jewish man, because you have to trace the Jew. Nowadays, you trace the line through the mother. It's like, you want to prove you're a real Jew? Who's your mom? That's how they do it nowadays, so I've heard. But I know this, so I've heard it from smart people, but even me explaining it, no, there's more nuance to it than that. If we got a really smart person in here that, but I know for a fact in the Bible, it passes through the male line. Rahab, who is a foreigner, the promise to Rahab. Then she let them down by a rope through the window. Where's it at? Now, before the spies lay down, Rahab came up to them on the roof and said to them, I know that the Lord has given you the land. And that the terror of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land of Canaan have despaired because of you. For, listen to this, if you're a little lost, we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who are beyond the Jordan, to Sihon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed. When we heard these reports, our hearts melted, and no courage remained in anyone any longer because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven and on earth below. Hey, so she's like, I know who the Lord God is. He beat up you beat up all those people. Our people are scared to death. The Lord God, he's God in heaven and on earth below. Now then, so here's what Rahab says. Please swear to me by the Lord. She knows the Lord. She uses CLORD with in capitals. She's using the name, the covenant name, the Israelites' covenant name. Please swear to me by Yahweh. Since I have dealt kindly with you, that you will also deal kindly with my father's household and give me a pledge of truth and spare my father and my mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and save our lives from death. So the men said to her, remember, they're fixing to attack Canaan. They're fixing to take all the people out who don't cooperate. They're supposed to make peace treaties with most of the cities. They come upon a city and make a peace treaty. If the people are like, nope, too bad, then they destroy it. So the men said to her, our life for years, if you do not tell this business of ours, it shall come about when the Lord gives us a land that we will deal kindly and faithfully with you. So even though they're going to destroy Jericho, okay, God said that city is being destroyed. No peace treaty, we're destroying it. But Rahab, our life for years, if you do not come about, it shall come about when the Lord gives us land, we will deal kindly and faithfully with you. In other words, we will save you. The man said to her, we shall be exempt from this oath to which you have made us swear, unless when we come into land, you tie this cord of scarlet thread in the window through which you let us down. Gather into your house all your mothers, brothers, sisters. It shall come about when anyone goes out to door your house, his blood shall be on his own head, and we will be innocent. But anyone who is with you in the house, his blood will be on our head. According to your words, so it be, she says. In other words, put the scarlet cord in your house. We want to stay in your house. We will not attack you. We will deal kindly with you. Rahab, okay, did something good. She helped them out. She was promised, we will take care of you. Rahab marries this dude named, where is it at? Salmon. Right here. Salmon. Rahab fathered Boaz by Rahab. Salmon fathered Boaz by Rahab. Boaz's father is definitely a Jewish man, but his mother is a foreigner, a prostitute, someone who was promised by Israel, we will do good stuff for you. Boaz, if they told, like I said, they passed down stuff orally, why wouldn't they, tell it to your kids, teach all your kids this stuff while you're in the field, write it on your doorpost. I should find that it's in Deuteronomy somewhere. If they taught their kids this stuff, Boaz would have heard the story about Jericho. Boaz would have heard about Rahab being saved. Boaz would have been like, wait, mom, so they came and killed everybody in your city, but they saved you because you don't. Yes, I did. So wait, mom, my dad, Salmon, who probably fought, against Jericho, depending on his age, maybe he was a priest. No, not a priest. He was of the line of Judah. Levites were priests. Come on, BJ. There was a son named Levi, and his family had the priests. Judah, his sons don't have no priest. Okay. And we're talking about the line of Judah. Judah fathered Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Yeah. So like, hey mom, tell our friends that time that, when the walls fell down and dad saved you. What if Salmon ran into Rahab's house? Hey, I'm here to save you. What if Salmon was one of the two spies? We're not told that, but we do know Salmon was a Jew because he's in the line. He's in the genealogy. Rahab is a foreigner. Boaz knows, he's a son, unless she just never says anything to him, but they're commanded to by law. Now, did they always to tell their kids these stories? Did they always follow the law? No. That's correct. Okay. But we know this much. Boaz's mother is a foreigner. Saved by a promise. That's who Boaz is. So that's pretty cool, What if that's the reason why Boaz is so nice to Ruth? We don't know. We're not told why he's so nice to Ruth. We haven't been told yet. I haven't read I haven't read Ruth in a while. I started this Bible study along, and I'll be honest, I was like, oh, that's one of my favorite books of the Bible, Ruth. It's only 4 chapters. You know, we can get through it relatively quickly. I knew it was going to take me a long time, but I knew, okay, 4 chapters. We're not talking, it's a story. Stories are easier to go through. So I just started it. And to be honest, I haven't read it. I haven't, you would think I'd read it through. You'd think I'd be studying. I'm more study along. We're studying along. So as we read, Boaz might say, here's why. In fact, I think we did read it actually. He said, because I heard all the kindness that you did to your mother. So he starts being kind to her. Okay. I would say we haven't got that far yet, but about 3 videos back, we did read the entire Ruth chapter 2. And I made not very extensive commentary. We mostly just kind of went through like, we just read the chapter and just said some stuff about it. It was pretty, okay. So Boaz, whose mother was a Canaanite, and Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, so hey, we got a dude who's half Canaanite. We got a daughter who's all Canaanite. We got a mother, Naomi, daughter-in-law, who's all Moabite. We got a mother, Naomi, who is all Israelite. It doesn't say who Elimelech's wife was. What if Elimelech's wife was also, so I'm sorry. Naomi is, we're never told that Naomi is a full-bred Israelite. What if she's from a, what if she was a Canaanite that was like, hey, I don't want to die. I will become a Judean. I will become an Israelite. And they were like, okay, cool. And then Elimelech married her. We're never told, you know. Oh. I think we're supposed to assume that yes, she's a full-blooded Israelite, not just genealogically, like biologically, but I'm sorry, not just I want to become your religion, and so I want to become your people, but also biologically, like through a genealogy, you know. So Ruth is a Moabite. Naomi is an Israelite. Boaz is an Israelite with a Canaanite mom named Rahab. So maybe that, you know, that could shed some light as to what's going on here, you know. So, okay. Naomi had let's start reading. A man of great wealth of the family of Elimelech, a man whose name was Boaz. I'm not sure where they say great wealth. Ruth the Moabite said, Naomi, please let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain, following in one whose eyes I found favor. And she said to her, go, my daughter. Now, it could be dangerous. You send Ruth, hey, your girl, go all by yourself, you know. Or it could have been a normal everyday thing. Let's say let's say your grandma, you're like, you know, 50 years old, 45 years old, 50 years old. You got a daughter-in-law who's say 18, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna go out to these random places on this farm over here and look to do stuff, you know. You'd be like, okay, sure, go ahead. Or would you be a little more protective, be like, wait, maybe you should take somebody along with you, you know? Right here, it's hard work. She's like, hey, oops, I clicked that. Please let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain. Okay, so then down here, if you look down here, she is a young Moabite woman who returned Naomi. She said, please let me gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So you got to gather among the reapers after the sheaves. So she has come and has remained from morning until now. She's been sitting in the house for a while. Over here in ABR, with scarcely a moment's rest. She's been gleaning, I guess. She arrived. She has been working hard from this morning until now, except sitting in the resting hut for a short time. So she's been working. And if you look even further down, she has something crazy like where is it? An ephah of barley. So she gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned, about 1 cubic foot, 30 pounds of barley. Man. So she's working from morning till night. Okay. She's just a lady at home. She's just chilling at home and she's like, hey, they just got back into town, right? They got no husband, so they got nobody to make a living wage. They got no, they can't get a job as women. That wasn't, they didn't really do that in this time period. So widows often became beggars and such. Ruth is like, hey, I'm gonna go and to these fields and glean behind these people. You're like, glean. What does glean mean? We'll look that up in a minute. But for right now, what's the point? This girl's like, hey, we have to make a living. Oh, I guess we should go to the welfare office. It didn't exist. The girl's like, hey, I'm gonna go get some food because you're an old lady and you can't go get food. Oh, no, you can. People will be nice to you. That's not the way it was back then. In fact, remember chapter 1, during the time of the judges, a lot of crazy stuff happened during the time of judges. Not everybody was nice, not everybody was mean. In fact, during all of Israel's history, people were doing crazy things. We often think, oh, Israel, the holy people, holy as in set apart, not holy as in they are perfect people. They're always doing bad stuff. They're always doing stupid, dumb things. Here, let's go look. Bible Gateway. Matthew 19, I believe it is. This is hundreds of years after Rahab, but things haven't changed much. The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner. I'm sorry, Ruth. I said Rahab. So Ruth is like, hey, I'm gonna go work out in the field. I'm gonna go get a bunch of barley. We need stuff to eat, I guess. And so I'm just gonna go work. And I was like, just go for it. Nowadays we just go to the grocery store. Hey, I need some food. I don't even have enough money. Yeah, everybody's got money, right? Even homeless people, all they do is beg. This chick's like, I'm not gonna beg. I'm gonna go work. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. He went out and agreed with the laborers for denarius for the day. He sent them into his vineyard. So, hey, these people already worked for the landowner went out early in the morning to hire laborers. They already worked for him? No, he had to hire them. He agreed with the laborers. He sent them into his vineyard. So that day, he goes out early in the morning. He hires the people. That day, they go out and work. Does he know these people? Maybe, I don't know. He went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. They're just standing there. So he went out 3 hours later, gets more people. And to those who, you go into the vineyard also, and whatever is right, I will give you. So they went. Again, he went out the 6 hour. So this dude keeps going. So he went to the marketplace in the 6 hour, went to the marketplace in the 9th hour, asked people to work. What did they do? They went and worked. He's like, hey, I'll pay you. It's just like, wait, these people are just like standing idle in the marketplace. The landowner went out about the 3rd hour and saw others standing out in the marketplace. And to those he said, you go into the vineyard also. So they went. Yes, about the 11th hour, the landowner went out and found others standing around. He said to them, why have you been standing here idle all day long? They said, because no one has hired us. He said to them, you go into the vineyard too. Now, when evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, call the laborers and pay them. Okay. So they're just standing around. He's like, hey, come work. And they just go work. It's crazy. That wouldn't happen today. And it's not like, hey, come and do this easy work in my house in the AC. No, in a vineyard. A vineyard's outside, I'm gonna look up labor. When you eat the fruit of the labor of your hands, you will be happy. Oh, her labor, that's a, having a baby. When he saw that a resting place was good and that the land was pleasant, he bowed his shoulder and he became a slave at forced labor. I don't know what that is. Oh, so they appointed taskmasters over them, oppressed them with hard labor, and they built for Pharaoh's storage cities. That's Egypt. They built Egypt, in other words. You shall not do in laborious work, but you shall prevent offering by fire. You shall not do laborious work on the Sabbath. Okay, look at this. You shall keep the feast of harvest of the first fruit of your labors from what you sow in the field. So they're working, they go in the field, they bring stuff in. Also the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather the fruit of your labors from the field. Feast of the ingathering, you're gathering in stuff. And how do you do it? You don't go to the farmer's market and buy it. You don't get other people to do it. You do it. You go to the field. You gather when you gather in the fruit of your labors from the field. They have feasts based on people going out in the fields and gathering fruit. I mean, fruit gathering, it says fruit of your labors. It's wheat, barley, stuff like that. We call it fruit, an apple, a pear, an orange, you know. So this is basic everyday stuff, okay? In fact, they worked so much, their feasts are very important things for Israelites. They had 3 big time feasts, and then they would do other feasts for stuff. Feasts were the big thing in the ancient world, and God was like, y'all are going to have feasts too. Their feasts, look at this. What was it? You shall keep the feast of harvest of the first fruits of your labors from what you sow in the field. Their feast center around the time that they gather in the wheat from the field. Feast of the ingathering at the end of the year. Their feasts are, and right here, for 6 days you shall do your work, but on the 7th day you shall cease from labor, so that your ox and your donkey may rest. Because they're out in the field doing hard labor, right? They're plowing the field. The son of your female slave, as well as a stranger residing with you, may refresh themselves. Why? They're working, probably out in the field. They're probably not working around the house. They're probably helping your kids out in the field get food and such. I mean, if the slaves want to eat, they hire themselves to somebody. They say, hey, I'll be your slave. You give me a house and a place to live and a place to eat. I will help with the work. What work? Labor outside. I mean, this was a normal everyday thing to them. For me to be like, me and my wife, we moved to another town, and my wife says, hey, I'm going to go to that orchard and pick a bunch of apples for the day. I'd be like, what? What are you talking about? Just go to the grocery store, you know? We'd order stuff off Amazon. No, the way Ruth does it, please let me go to the field and glean, which means pick up stuff that has been dropped. When the farmers, when the reapers, quote unquote, the farmers, when the workers are going and they pick stuff up and some of it falls, Ruth gets to go behind them and pick it up. We'll talk about gleaning and such. Look at this. There's a small letter A here, right there. Leviticus 19:9, 10, 23:22, Deuteronomy 24:19. Oh, Ruth 2:7. That's all the laws and all that stuff about gleaning. It's an Israelite thing. Somebody's poor, they get to go behind and go. We'll read about all that next time. But just to show you, like, these people weren't pansies. Okay. Compared to today, these people were tough. You know, I mean, if I were to go out right now and just all day long, I go for runs and hikes. I am a janitor where I am constantly sweeping and mopping, carrying bags of trash, going up and down stairs. I mean, it's not very tedious work. It's very tedious. It's not very strenuous work, and I'm inside a lot. But I'm in pretty good shape. Could I just randomly be like, hey, I'm going to go outside, probably where it's in the sun, the rain, and all the elements, all the weather and stuff, and just walk around and start. I mean, she probably had to have stuff prepared for it. What kind of clothes did they have? A lot of them didn't have very many type of clothing. A lot of them wore sandals, wearing sandals outside to do this. They had closed-toed shoes. All I ever hear about in the Bible is sandals. There are some stuff about shoes. I mean, you get a scratch, ow, I've got to sit down. No, or else you don't have food. You got to go glean more to get actual food to work. This isn't okay. This isn't like workman's comp. What's workman's comp? You get hurt at work, then your job has to pay you for time off. Your job has to help you with medical bills and such. We have insurance. Ruth didn't have any of that. Naomi wasn't like, wait, you might get hurt. Stay here. No, Naomi wasn't like, oh, well, it's too hot. Or wait, there might be bad men, sinful men out there who might want to take advantage of a woman. Wait, you're a Moabitess. They might see you. They might say, wait a minute, this is that foreigner. We hate the Moabites. Let's go get her. Naomi didn't say that. Naomi was like, go, my daughter. We're not told if Naomi had second thoughts or not, but it seems, hey, go for it. I mean, this is a different time period. When I was kids, our parents would be like, just be back around dark. We'd hop on our bikes. We'd just ride all over the city. I'd tell my mom, hey, mom, we went here, there. And sometimes she'd go, wait, how far did you ride on your bike? Like, wait, you rode to that corner store, like out in the country? BJ, that's 7 miles away down the highway. You might have, every once in a while, stuff like that would happen. I'd be like, I'm sorry. She'd be like, okay, whatever. Wait, you went where in the woods? And then I'd look it up on a map because of the Boy Scout. I'd measure it and I'd walk like 8 miles away in the woods. And then I had to come back. And my mom's like, BJ, something bad could have happened. But she just let us go, Oh, well, just go. But policemen could have found me. Medical, like EMS rescuers if I got damaged. My family had friends that could have come and found me if I got hurt. I could have went to the hospital. I had I wasn't in sandals. I was in shoes. And I knew coming home, I would have food and a bed to sleep in. What if Ruth leaves? What if Ruth leaves and what if Naomi's alone in the house and robbers come in, thieves break in? I mean, that was common stuff. Thieves and robbers were coming back. Naomi and Ruth are by themselves. I want to say, well, it must not have been too dangerous, but it was a completely different world back then. Everything was risky, but they didn't see it that way. It seems like to them that was just normal everyday life. The weird pansies compared to them back then. So she left and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. She happened to come upon the portion of the field belonging to Boaz, does that mean she went to one field and another field, that she was walking down the road and was like, oh, there's a field, and maybe she went here and there and there, and then finally she found a field, or maybe like, okay, I'll go to a field, and she walks out, and there are probably fields everywhere. So she walks out, she sees people working at a specific field, so she goes, that field, starts gleaning. Oh, it happens to be Boaz, probably. We talked about last time, she happened to come. Now she just happened to end up, so. Oh, right here. The field she entered to glean after happened to be the section, So, okay. Portion belonging to Boaz, who was a family of Elimelech. So Elimelech was evidently also related to Rahab and Salmon. Maybe Elimelech was one of Salmon's sons. Maybe Elimelech was Boaz's brother. They're close enough in family that Boaz is of the family of the land. That doesn't mean they're brothers necessarily. Could still be a cousin, but maybe it starts with Perez, not just to show us. Remember that genealogy, not just to show us. Okay, you got Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, then you got Judah. Judah had 2 sons. Perez is the one who the line comes through. Remember, there was like Perez and Terah or something like that. So out of Perez, and I think it's Terah. Perez was picked. So maybe whenever the genealogy starts with Perez at the end of the book of Ruth here, maybe it's to say that it was Perez who is the one who the line came from. The important stuff happened through, not Terah. Or maybe it starts with Perez Perez was the father of Aminadab, Aminadab the father of Ram, Ram the father of Nation, Nation the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz. Let's see how correct I got this. Perez the father of Hezron. I missed that one. Hezron the father of Ram, Ram father of Aminadab, Aminadab of Nation, Nation father. Maybe Perez somewhere down this line is Elimelech. And so somewhere in here is Elimelech. Boaz is here. So since Boaz is related to Perez, who Elimelech is also somehow related to Perez, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why maybe that's why they have Perez, you know. So we're not sure, we're not told, everything. We just kind of make good educated guesses. It makes sense. I went like this. And whenever I did, my video kind of slowed down for a second, and it looked like I was like, I was like, what the? All right. I think it's been a good, let's see, escape, 1 hour and 8 minutes. I think it's been a good hour. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Stop share. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm like way down there. What's this? Okay. Hey, I think that was good for today. We talked about some stuff. Boaz's pillars, I guess. Boaz's parents. Boaz's mom is Rahab, the prostitute, a Canaanite, a person whose land was being taken over. Destroy all the Canaanites. Make a peace treaty with some of them, and they could be your slaves. But certain ones, you just got to destroy them all. But wait, they made a promise to one of them, Rahab, because she did a good thing. She converted to the Israelite religion. Obviously, she was like, I know that God, Yahweh, created the heavens and the earth, and I want to be on your side. So that's Boaz's mother. And then we talked about, was there security? Did they have grocery stores they could just go to? They didn't have cops. They could protect Ruth while she was going out. Naomi couldn't. If her house had been, taken and stuff, she could have maybe went to the judges at the town, the elders, and been like, hey, help. Maybe they'd have helped, who knows? We talked about all that stuff. That's good. Next time, we'll specifically talk about gleaning. I keep saying gleaning. We'll talk about what that is. All right, for now, let's give ourselves a prayer and call it a day. Lord God, thank you very much for this wonderful knowledge that you give us, for this Bible study knowledge. But of course, Lord God, help us turn it into wisdom. Help us take these basic building blocks and make a house. We don't just want a pile of bricks, we want a house. Turn this knowledge, turn these facts into wisdom and wise counsel that we can use for ourselves and others. We can see your love and your strength and power, and we can glorify you all the days. We can see how wonderful Jesus is, how awesome the cross and his sacrifice was for us. Help us to see all that and all this, Lord. Amen. See you guys in the next Bible study along.